Hello from Seoul! It's the season! Christmas season! Christmas markets, gingerbread, burning your tongue with too hot mulled wine or hot chocolate, and eggnog. Shout out to my grandma who does the best eggnog. Nothing better than getting wasted with your family on Christmas. Not this year, I know. Whereas in Korea, Christmas is a bit different. In Korea there are no stockings, no mistletoes, no advent wreath, no sitting on Santa's lap. I never liked that anyway. Also no Nikolaus on December 6th. Instead, in Korea, Christmas is a couple holiday and it's even bigger than Valentine's Day. It's the biggest couple holiday of the year. It's a day where couples go and see romantic illuminations and have a fancy meal at a restaurant or hotel and exchange luxury gifts. But why? I'm glad you asked. The first reason is that Christmas reached Korea long before Christianity did. The Japanese colonization ended here in 1945 and the US military took over the government, and that year Christmas became a national holiday in Korea, and it is a national holiday until today, unlike in most other Asian countries. At that time, in 1945, only around 2% of Koreans were Christians, so that's why only the commercial side of Christmas arrived in Korea and not so much the religious aspect of it. Besides that, the US government imposed a nationwide curfew, and it was only lifted on Buddha's birthday and December 24th on Christmas Eve and on December 31st for Sylvester. That's why people perceived it as a joyful day. Before that, during the Japanese occupation, the Japanese were trying to impose their Shinto practices on Koreans. They wanted to culturally assimilate Koreans, and Christians refused to take part in that. So that's why the link between Christianity and Korean nationalism is very strong. And that also resulted in Christianity being a symbol of the resistance. Wait, that's the butchered French pronunciation. What I mean is resistance. And after Korea was divided in 1945, many Christians fled from North Korea to the south because North Korea became a communist/atheist country where it was illegal to be Christian and any religious practices, including celebrating Christmas, were not allowed. And then until the 1970s, Korea was very poor, so Christmas kind of represented the Western American idea of freedom, abundance, and modernity and consumerism. It's not like that anymore. Korea is very modern now. Looking at you, Germany, where you still can't pay with card at so many places. Everyone still uses actual keys and don't even dream about having Wi-Fi on the subway. So that's why until today Christmas here is very American or Western themed, with turkeys, reindeers, and being very consumerism oriented, which results in Christmas being a rather fancy affair. It's not like in Europe where every country or region has their popular Christmas food and Christmassy customs that have their roots in paganism and old traditions that were around long time before Christianity was around. And today around 25 to 30% of Koreans are Christians, and Christianity has a really interesting history in Korea. It used to be a very progressive community because they were propagating egalitarianism. I'm dumb, I'm sorry, I can't help it. In a sense that it was against the caste system that Korea had back then. I'm talking about the late Joseon dynasty period. You know, because one of the churchy messages was that all men, all humans are made same. Today church here is rather conservative, but you know, that's a topic for a whole other video. Will there ever be a video where I'm not getting sidetracked? The second reason why Christmas is not a family-oriented holiday here is simply because there are already two family-oriented holidays, which is Chuseok, usually around September, October, and Seollal around January, February. So people literally don't need another family holiday right in between. That's why retailers take advantage of the occasion and make it about couples and presents for lovers. There already are so many couple holidays in Korea, but I guess the more the merrier. Remember all the couple holidays in Korea? Yeah, me neither. Korea also has a very low birth rate, so I guess focusing on toys for kids is not as profitable as focusing on couples. Hashtag capitalism. In that aspect, it's a bit similar to Halloween in a sense that it's more for adults than for kids, but Christmas in Korea obviously has a way longer history than Halloween, which is rather recent. In Germany, people really go big with decorating their houses or their porch, front yard, garden with Christmas decoration. I don't even want to imagine what their electricity bill is like. It's yeah, don't get me wrong, I love to see it. Well, not in Korea. It's very uncommon here to decorate your home for Christmas, and I don't even think you can get a real Christmas tree here. I mean, like real tree. You can get the plastic ones, but I think I never saw a real Christmas tree here, and neither did Saigon. You can find some small knickknacks at Daiso though, or Western home interior chains. However, the places where you can spend money, like shops, malls, hotels, restaurants, cafes, they are usually decorated for Christmas. The decorations here usually look very modern and shiny and aesthetic. You don't really get that rustic nostalgia Christmas vibe. Do you know what I mean? Also, Christmas decorations are more like a general winter decoration theme, and they stay until long after Christmas, unlike Germany, where January 6th is the last tolerable day where you can have your Christmas decorations out. You also won't hear any Christmas carols here. It's all about Christmassy pop songs or the latest K-pop releases that usually do a Christmassy winter themed release around this time of the year. Ballads like Sing For You from EXO. I love that song. In Korea, the typical Christmas menu is a Christmas cake. To be exact, it's most commonly a sponge cake with some whipped cream and strawberries, like exactly like the cake emoji. Why strawberry? Well, it's strawberry season here now. That's why during winter you're able to get a variety of strawberry themed desserts. It's like the pumpkin during autumn, the strawberry in winter here in Korea. Also in Japan. Of course, they're all from a greenhouse because it's freezing outside. Needless to say, Korean cafes have the cutest Christmassy desserts and drinks. We will try them together all next year, okay? But you know, I recently saw a Stollen at a bakery in our neighborhood. I was so surprised. Come to think of it, I need to get my hands on it for Christmas. So many couples have a nice meal at a fancy restaurant or hotel. And December 24th is also the busiest day for love motels. Just saying. If you're spending Christmas in Korea and you're craving your country's food, then you still have two options. Option A is Costco. I heard they have turkeys there, and I heard turkeys are a thing for Christmas in America. You can also get a selection of foreign food at department stores, but it's gonna be expensive, so prepare mentally for that, or you know, just embrace Korean winter food. It's amazing, it's not that expensive, and you won't be disappointed. If you want a video about Korean winter food, let me know. And your second option is Itaewon. Surprise! There are many places that offer Christmas buffets, but you have to book them in advance because they're very popular and usually book out quite quickly, so yeah. I will link some places in the description box for next year. So as already mentioned, Christmas is a couple holiday here, so it's very common to buy a present for your significant other, but not so much for friends or family. It's like Valentine's Day in that way. Luxury gifts like perfume, jewelry or lingerie are very popular, but you can also get Christmas cards at bookshops, for example. Okay, just to be clear, what I'm mentioning now is not what I would recommend you to do this year. Many places are closed anyway and events are cancelled, but there will be a next Christmas 2021, am I right? But a quite safe thing to do this year is to watch some beautiful Christmas lights. There are many spots around the city with beautiful illumination and light installations. For example, around Myeongdong, they have a they have a lot of Christmas decoration, illumination around the Lotte department store and the Shinsegae department store, and around Cheonggyecheon. It's a stream in that area that also is always beautifully decorated with many lights, and where you can go for a nice romantic stroll at night. And if you're already in the area, you can also check out the Myeongdong Cathedral. I don't exactly know how that little church qualifies as a cathedral, but let's just roll with it. They also have Christmas masses there on Christmas Eve, and it's open to the public. And another cool spot is around the Seoul City Hall Square. They have a big sparkly Christmas tree there and also an ice rink. To see Christmas decorations in general, I think malls are a very good spot, because the malls always go big when it comes to decorating, and you can also take nice pictures there because it's inside and it's not freezing. At Lotte Tower they have some cute cabins installed outside. That's also really nice there. Then we also have our usual suspects like Everland and Lotte World, which have a giant amount of light decorations and also Christmas parades. There are also some German Christmas markets, but to be honest, I don't recommend. I went there with a bunch of other Germans once and we were a bit disappointed. Sengon also didn't like it. But yeah, then on the other hand, Sengon doesn't like anything that includes going outside. No shaming, just don't get too big expectations. There are also some other Christmas markets. I heard that the one around the Yonsei University is quite popular. It's in Shincheon, also on my to-do list next year. Another popular Christmas spot is Namsan Tower. There they have those famous log trees that look a little bit like Christmas trees. And I have to admit, Namsan Tower at night when it's snowing, it's quite a sight. And since Christmas is a Western holiday, there are also many events around Itaewon. If you're dreaming about White Christmas, you might consider visiting a ski resort. There are many ski resorts around the city, and you could do a day trip, for example, to Konjiam Ski Resort. I think that's a nice place also when you have kids. It will be very busy though. And there are also many ski resorts that are open during the night. In Korea there are 3 words for Christmas, the first one being Christmas. I guess you can tell where that comes from. And the other 2, you know, I will try to get Sengon, maybe he can explain it, because I don't have the integrity to do that. So don't look that way. Look in the camera.
Okay.
Here is our expert, our Korean.
First of all, Christmas is the most common way of saying Christmas also among Koreans. Other than that, we say 성탄절 and 기독탄신일, but I've never heard someone using them.
Oh really?
No. But you know, if I
well, good to know.
if I can explain that a little bit. 기독탄신일, 기독 is Christ, and 탄신 means being born or birth. So 일 is
day.
Is a day. So 기독탄신일 means Christ's birthday, or the day Christ was born. 성탄절 is
절 is also like day, right?
Yeah, but 절 is more like a special day. And 성 means holy or sacred or saint. And 탄 means being born also, or birth. So it's holy birthday or saint's birthday.
So how do you say Merry Christmas in Korean? You can say like Merry Christmas, right? But what would be like a formal way of saying it?
I would say that there's no really formal way of saying it other than saying Merry Christmas.
Oh really?
I think it's less in our culture, so we don't really have a way of saying that in a...
Like Korean way?
Yeah, I think so. Disappointed.
Because when I was researching, I found many ways of saying it.
Really?
Yeah.
The point of me being here is so that you can get like genuine Korean experience, right?
Maybe he just wants to be done and go. Because you can, for example, say
즐거운 성탄절 보내십시오. I mean, yeah, it literally means just like have a joyful Christmas.
So you're telling me no one says that? People just say Merry Christmas?
I think you have this concept of you have that phrase being said all the time. It's not really like that in Korean.
No one cares.
English speaker, I guess, they say Merry Christmas and they also say Happy New Year. But we don't really have that. Yeah, we do have that for 설, right? 새해 복 많이 받으세요.
Yeah.
But we don't have that for Christmas. Not really a formal way of saying it. It's just an expression, right? Just like saying Merry Christmas. So, you get the idea?
Yeah, I get that. Thank you. Your point of view and knowledge is very much appreciated on this channel here.
That enough?
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
This year will actually be my first Christmas in Korea. I don't know, especially during the holidays, it sucks a bit to be away from your homeland, away from your family. I mean, let's be honest, I already cried a few times this month because of that. And in my experience, trying to recreate what you usually experience at home doesn't really pan out. It's just, the vibe is just different. So for the sake of my mental health and Saigon's, I changed my perspective and I try to embrace the uniqueness of Korean Christmas, because in the end Christmas is about spending time with people that you love and care about and food coma. You can achieve that here pretty easily. Not gonna lie, during Christmas vacation with my family I usually gain a little bit. Maybe because we're having dessert after every meal. Recently I made a crumble that helped a lot to make me feel more festive. Yeah, but I don't think there will be any extra Christmas pounds this year. I guess that's the silver lining of all this. This year we will just have delivery. I mean, support local businesses. Honestly, I'm just too lazy and too exhausted. This entire year was just quite stressful, quite a hassle. I just want to chill, play Animal Crossing and watch Sailor Moon. We already have our Christmas decoration up. We will also spend some quality time with Saigon's family. And on December 25th, we are meeting one of my closest friends here, Michaela. It's her birthday that day. She's also here on YouTube. You can say happy birthday to her that day. When you live abroad, then your closest friends and your partner becomes your family. And even though I can't see my family back in Germany, I'm still very happy and I appreciate that I will be able to spend Christmas with my family here. How are you celebrating Christmas? Are you celebrating at all? Are you celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah or Yule? Let me know in the comments. This is also the last video of the year on this channel, so thanks a lot for sticking around. I really appreciate it, and Merry Christmas and see you next year.